Afternoon, everybody, on this beautiful afternoon. Isn't it just glorious? Right, okay, so today's video is about macronutrients. What are they? I'm only going to do one each video because otherwise I'll be here forever. Macronutrients are basically the nutrients we need the most of in our diet. So macronutrients, the most of, micronutrients, smaller amounts of. And the macronutrients that we have within our diet, or should have in our diet, are protein, fats and carbohydrates. Okay, so today's video is about protein. Now, I mentioned protein a fair amount anyway, and it's very, very important. They're all very important. They all play their part in our diet, and none of these nutrients should be removed from our diet as well. They all play their part and are vital for a healthy, balanced diet. Right, so protein, what does it do? What does it do? Protein, many things. It does things like, okay, it helps build muscle. It helps repair tissue within the body. It supports muscle growth. It's like the building blocks, basically, for muscle growth and for our body, because it's made up of many amino acids, 20 amino acids. It helps regulate your immune response and helps with hormone production as well. So it's a really important nutrient that we need, vital really. It also helps with your skin, your hair, your organs. It helps sort of support all of those things. So under eating protein can cause you a lot of issues. And to be honest with you, there's a fair amount of people out there that are under eating protein. And so I'm going to run through sort of how you can help that, and a sort of an idea of where you should be hitting grams wise, and sort of the things you can expect to see if you're not hitting protein. Right, so what's the benefits of eating a good amount of protein? It's really good for weight management. It's really good for keeping yourself feeling fuller. Protein helps with satiety when it comes to eating, because it takes the body a fair amount of time to break it down and process it. It keeps you fuller for longer, and that's the same as something like fibre as well. Now, because the body has to break it down, if you eat whole food versions, not so much if you eat processed, but if you're eating whole food versions, then the body has to break it down. And of course, when the body's doing that, it's using more energy. So actually eating a high amount of protein can help you to burn more calories, because the body's working hard and burning calories while it's breaking it down. So, yes, that's one of the main things and benefits for eating a good amount of protein. Also, it helps with bone health. It helps with muscle mass. Like I said, it helps preserve and build muscle. It helps with bone density as well. It's protecting. You see, muscle protects your bones. So if you're eating a good amount of protein, those two things, they go hand in hand and work together. It also creates antibodies that help fight infections within the body, and also helps with metabolic health. So, I mean, God, you know, protein, hello, it's really, really important. And it also helps transport nutrients around the body and oxygen. So yes, very, very important. Right, food. What is protein? Some people asked me before, what does it mean? What is protein? Now, if you're a meat eater, then you've got fish, you've got lean meats, just meats in general. If you're not a meat eater, and you're a vegetarian or vegan, you've got things like tofu as well that you can eat. Eggs, if you can eat eggs, dairy, nuts, pulses, beans, you know, grains, all of these things are really great protein sources. If you are vegetarian or vegan, the only thing, and it's not a bad thing at all, but it's a harder job in a sense, because if you, when I talked about 20 amino acids, if you have a piece of meat, it contains all of those amino acids, and they're all essential within the body. You need all of them. So eating a piece of meat, you've hit it. If you are vegetarian or vegan, you've got to factor in that you will not have all of those 20 amino acids in one grain or one pulse or one bean. You have to eat a variety of those things to hit those 20 amino acids. So it's not impossible. It takes a little bit more work just to make sure your diet includes all of those things, so you're getting all of those 20 amino acids. Right, okay, signs that you might not be eating enough protein. Increased hunger or cravings. If you're craving Sugary things, carbohydrates, it might be the case that, well, it can be a case you might not be eating enough. That's also something to look at. But if you're not eating enough protein, then you could find that your blood sugar levels are slightly unstable. So it does help with stabilizing blood sugar levels a lot, because it keeps you fuller for longer and more in line. So if you've got increased hunger and cravings, I would look at that. Muscle weakness or loss of muscle. Because protein helps preserve and build, alongside obviously exercise where possible. Even without exercise, protein will help preserve muscle. But if you are finding you're feeling weaker or you're losing muscle, it could be the fact that you need to stump your protein up. Brittle hair, brittle nails, skin issues. I mean, protein helps repair all of these things. So if you're very low in protein, then, you know, these are the things that you might be noticing, and you need to look at that. Now, I know people talk about taking collagen all the time. Collagen is made up of amino acids. So what I say to people is, and if you want to spend your money on collagen, that's fine, but you might want to start before going down that route with making sure that you're eating enough protein, because also protein is amino acids. So it will help with hair and nails and skin, which is why a lot of people take collagen, and it costs a lot of money. So I would be saying to people, before you go down that route, make sure you've got your protein levels up enough, okay? It also can stop, well, if you get ill quite a lot, if you get unwell quite a lot, it can also affect your immune system. So I'd be keeping a check on that. And mood, it plays a part with how it affects your mood, and your stress levels. So it kind of covers everything really with health. I think under eating protein can affect everything. Now, how much should you be eating of protein? Now, I work with a lot of people, and it usually is quite similar. You need to be aiming, women, you need to be aiming, excuse me, for at least, this is the minimum, 30 grams of protein per meal. So if you eat, three meals a day, 30 grams of protein, this is the bare minimum. I like people to be heading for at least over 100 grams a day. So this is the bare minimum. I mean, I obviously see a lot of people that are only eating about 70 grams, women, that's not enough. And as you get older, you need even more. So you need to keep increasing it as you get older to protect, because as we get older, obviously, we start to lose more muscle, our bones start to get weaker. Increasing protein is going to really help, alongside a good strength training program, minimize what happens to your body in that regard. So with menopause as well, it can affect our bone density and our muscles. So high protein, getting above that 30 grams per meal, I would be saying 30 grams per meal plus 2 snacks that are protein based as well, so it helps you hit above that. Men, it needs to be 50 grams per meal plus snacks as well. Men obviously have got, you know, a higher amount of muscle mass majority of the time, so they need a higher amount than the woman does, because they're going to be in a higher amount of calories as well. If I was looking to work with someone and we were looking at protein, the majority of the time what I say to people is, if you can aim for 1 gram of protein per pound of target body weight, because a lot of people have got an idea of where they want to be body weight wise. I mean, you can say 1 gram of your body weight right now, pound of body weight of what you are right now, but if you're someone that maybe has some body fat that you want to lose and you want to come down in scale weight, you can aim for a target weight instead. Even though you know me, I don't always go by some of these target weights, because it's more about muscle mass and fat loss over what you weigh on the scales. But however, it might give you an idea of where you want to be. If I use myself as an example, I'm around 130 pounds. So I actually eat anything from 130 to 140 grams of protein a day. And I'm aiming to do this with just whole foods, which is quite hard to do. So, you know, what am I eating? So a lot of Greek yogurt, fat-free version, because it's double the protein. I think I said about this in the previous. I eat eggs every single day. I eat lean meats and fish. I eat nuts. I eat seeds. I eat cottage cheese. I eat cheese, a small amount. All these are the things that I am using to raise my protein level. If I find, like yesterday, I was struggling a bit yesterday, because red meat's really helpful. I had mince yesterday, which meant, I mean, you eat like a chili or a spaghetti bolognese, something like that, and you use red meat. I mean, it's really high in protein, so it's a lot higher than, say, something like chicken. You have to eat a lot more chicken than with red meat to get the protein, like double the amount of protein. So it depends on what your preferences are, but I'm just saying if you need to hit goals and you're a meat eater, red meat is a really great meat to eat. And it's easy to make, and you can add beans into it as well. So if you want to then increase it even more, you add in your mixed beans and bam, there you go. So yeah, that's what I'm eating. And if like yesterday, I was struggling, what I made up was, which I will put the recipe on for as well, actually. It's kind of like, it starts with a bit, they say it's cookie dough, like I made a new one with cottage cheese. Kind of turns out like a bit like yogurt, really. But it sort of firms up in the fridge. So, but it's got cottage cheese in it, fat-free cottage cheese, high protein. I've also put a protein powder in it, because if you've hit your sort of wall with Whole Foods in regards to proteins, you can use then protein powders or sort of protein products like puddings and bars if you need to use it. They're like last resort because obviously they're processed. But protein powder is really helpful. And you can add it to a lot of things. You can add it to Greek yogurt, you can make desserts out of it, you can make shakes out of it, you can add whatever you want to it. If you make it with milk, you'll then get even more protein. So I just made a little dessert yesterday with some honey, some protein powder, some cottage cheese, peanut butter, another winner, and I put some chocolate chips on top of it. And it was absolutely amazing. And it was a sweet treat. And I was like, to be honest with you, I had to eat 2 lots of it because I was trying to reach my high calorie amount plus hit my protein goal. So by the time I got to the end of that, I was absolutely stuffed, if I'm honest, but it served a purpose and it hit my goal really nicely. So that's where I'm at the moment, 130 to 140 grams. And then I'm hitting about 90 grams of fat, and the rest I make up with carbs and fibre. I am trying to hit a 2,500 to 2,600 calorie goal though. So obviously yours will be slightly different depending on what your calorie goal is. So that's what I'm trying to hit at the moment, because I am in a bulk, as it were, even though the nicer way to explain it is a reverse diet where I'm trying to build muscle at the moment instead of just burn fat. But like I said, I've said before, it's another story, that one. So yes, you really need to be aiming. Majority of women I find that I speak to, clients, I'm putting them on around about 120 grams. 120 grams of protein a day. Men need to be looking at least 150, depending on what their scale weight is and what their workout programs are like. Because if you really want to build muscle, you need to stump it up with a good protein level. And some of the guys that I'm working with are on 180 to 200 grams. So it's just about prepping. It's about being clever with it. It's about looking at the back of labels. If you're someone that doesn't really like tracking calories, that's fine. But if you're going to track anything, track protein. Just have a look, write down the grams, write down the amounts and see what you're eating. Because when I work with people, I look at diaries for a week and I start to see where their protein levels lie. And then it's a case of a lot of people being half what they should be eating. And it really, really will affect your long-term health, your muscle building and your performance as well, how you do. So all I would say to people is, if there's one thing you do going forward after this video, if you're unsure of what you're doing, track it for a week. Write it down, use FitnessPal, whatever app you want to use, and have a little look at how much protein you're eating. Because if you want to go forward being fit, healthy and strong body-wise, protein is going to become your best friend. And if you're someone that's feeling like you're hungry all the time, aside from the fact you might not be eating enough, protein could be a bit of a game changer for you. I think that basically covers everything I wanted to cover today. As always, if you have any questions about what I've said today, please ask me, comment, and I'm happy to answer anything you want me to answer. Or message me or whatever. But have a great Wednesday evening, everybody, and I'll be back soon next week with another video on fats next time. So I look forward to seeing you then. Bye bye.